my most used eyeshadow palettes. Not a lot, because I accumulated, when I first started my channel, I accumulated a lot of palettes, and I kept buying and kept buying and kept buying, but these are my most recently and throughout the years that I have used these palettes. And of course, last year was Pan That Palette Lemonade Craze by Maybelline. And that was kind of like my most used palette. I went down to 6 shades. I franken some. I have them depotted. I will put it separate. I have 6 shades. To look for that last shade. I think it was this one. Okay. So 6 shades remaining from that palette. I believe it was all 6 of these. So these are the 6 remaining from that palette. And I frankened, and I didn't franken this one. This was actually how much that shade was. Like that's that shimmer shade that I really do like. The Lemonade Craze formula was really, really good. So I did use that up quite a bit because that was in my project pan last year and panned that palette. So the Lemonade Craze was a really good formulated palette. Next, this was in my project pan for like half of the year basically. So I used this palette, the Winky Luxe Mermaid Kitten palette. I love the color story in this palette. It's so nice. I have a really good dip in that purple one. This has such great quality. I love the formula. I love the color story. So yeah, I really do love this. It's so cute. These palettes were in a project pan, so it made me wear them quite a lot. When I got this, I was in love with this palette, this Villains Colourpop Misunderstood palette. This is a really unique color story. I do love the formula in this palette. This palette, I have quite a few little dips in the shimmer shades for sure, the mattes. They're very pigmented, but there's no dips in the mattes. But this is a really, really good palette. This was also in that project pan last year. So I'm really excited to get some usage on all of these palettes because they are really good quality. I would not get rid of any of these palettes. When I first got this BH Illusion palette, I played with this palette like almost every day. I got little dips in some shades, but this palette in this color story is so unique. It reminds me of fall time, and the quality is really good. I hit hard pan in this one, so I have to like do something with that shade, but all in all, it's a great quality. Very pigmented. These 2 shades do like look the same on the eyes, but you know, it's all good. But this quality is really good in this palette. Next, Makeup Revolution Constellation palette. This is a really good palette. When I first got this, I played a lot with this one. I love the color story. It's space themed. I love it. I have like 2 different gray tones, which I really like. It's more like a charcoal grayish, and that's more like a regular gray. And then you got the silver that is really nice. I love the pink. This color story like really I do enjoy this palette a lot. I highly recommend this one. If you can find it, you should get it. This pumpkin spice from Too Faced. This is one of my ultimate favorite Too Faced palettes. The Too Faced formula is a hit or miss, but this one, I will never get rid of this one. Any of these palettes I will never get rid of because they're so good. I love the pumpkin spice color. It's so pretty. Like, look at that orange. So pretty. I highly recommend this one. If you can find it, you should buy it. Next is BH Take Me Back to Brazil palette. I love this palette. I'd never get rid of this one. It's so colorful. All the colorful palettes I have, I don't want to ever get rid of. They're such great quality. I like this green. It's so pretty. The pigmentation in this palette is really good. I do like the pigmentation. Most of my BH palettes have really good formula. So I do like this rainbow themed palette. It's really nice. If you can find it, you should get it and try it out. Last palette is the Glam Light Cake palette. All of these palettes have really, really great formula. This one, last year, this Glam Light was my favorite, and it still is. Like, it's still my favorite. If I could get this cake out. This is what the palette looks like. It's so pretty. I highly recommend this palette. Look at that. These are really, really smooth and beautiful feeling. Like, look at those. I highly recommend this palette so much. I can never get enough of Glam Light. I wish I could afford all of the collection and I would buy it all. But the formula is so beautiful. Like, a little bit of shadow goes a long way. I dug in one of my paint palettes and I just was in love. So I definitely need to play with Glam Light again for this year. But it's only the beginning of the year and I'm just like looking forward for the rest of this year just to play with palettes. I know I've been, I like duping palettes, so if I can find like a really good colorful palette to dupe, I choose Glam Light. I don't want any other formula. I think Glam Light really kicks it out of the park when it comes to great shadows, pigmentation quality, themed. Everything is just, they don't come out like a lot. They take their time when they come out with a palette, which I really do enjoy that. Like Colourpop, BH, I think BH I haven't seen much of because they have their own thing going on. But Colourpop like comes out with so many eyeshadow and I'm just kind of getting tired of looking at all the new releases from Colourpop. But when Glam Light comes out with a release, I get excited, but then I have to really think, do I really need that palette? But these are the most used palettes in my collection, and I have tons of palettes, but when I first got it, you know, especially this one, when I first got this one, I played a lot around with that palette. I think this is the most used palette in my Glam Light collection. Of course, this one was my most used palette in Too Faced because this was in Project Pan for one, and the quality is just my favorite quality of Too Faced. It's only been this pumpkin spice. Really really great quality in this Makeup Revolution palette. Like, I'll never get rid of any of these. These are so pretty together. It makes me want to play with this palette, even though I should, because I have not dug in this palette in so long. That's so gorgeous. This came out like a couple of years ago, like probably 2-3 years ago now. Look at that. You just gotta get these palettes. I don't think you can get this one anymore, but it's really good. I do like the quality. BH has some great quality. Really pretty for like springtime. Spring and fall, like they have like a mixture. Really pretty. Highly recommend these. If you can find these ever, if someone's selling this palette, I think you should get it. I see on eBay a lot of things on the website. This is really good. I'm bummed that some people don't like this one, but I'm like, how? How? You just gotta play with it more. Like, first time playing with this for me, I fell in love with that palette. There we go. It's just gorgeous. All of these formulas are really great. This formula, just gotta swatch. Really, 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 really pretty. I love swatching, as you can tell. I just hate getting dirty. That's the only thing. So yeah, this, it's really good. If you need a good quality rainbow palette and affordable, this is a way to go. Like, it's really good. Swatching all the oranges today, I guess. It's really good. So yeah, all different formulas. They're really good. I like all of these. I highly recommend them. These are the most used in my collection, and I have tons. I have 128 palettes. Trying to stay in the range of that. I don't want to go higher. I really don't. I don't need to. That's why I've been duping a lot of my shadows, but yeah, if they're in project pans, I will try to use them. But lately, I've been just wanting to play with all of my palettes, but yeah, highly recommend these. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment to my channel. Bye for now.